Welcome back to the channel. Me and Aaron are wearing the same outfits from yesterday, so that's kind of gross. But today we got our hard baits and soft baits, same thing, top 5 of the year. These are baits that throughout the season, it could have been more spring. I got 2 baits that were more spring baits for me. And then I got a lot of baits that are more for summer. Trying to see how Aaron's are. It's kind of a mix. But these are 5 baits that we kind of, when we were going through our tackle, we're like, we got to talk about these. These were big parts, either on a consistent bite, a weak bite, 3-week bite, doesn't matter. These are more of baits that we just could not live without talking about. So we're going to start with hard baits first. Like I said, we have 5 each. Aaron's are all cranks. I have 3 cranks, 1 lipless, and a jerk bait. So I'm going to start with the jerk bait first and then work our way down. So the first jerk bait, and my main one of the year, is that newer 6 cents Provoke 96. It's pretty much their version of a Vision Junior, that little bit smaller size. I thought the sizes won't be that big of a difference, but it did give me a lot of bites in the spring, and you guys saw a couple times so far at Brookville this year. It's been doing really well as well. These are also silent, this specific model. This is Pro Blue scales. I really like how to be more translucent, especially at those clearer lakes with the scales to get that flash off. They switched to Gamakatsu Nano Aaron Martin hooks, so they're really sticky, really sharp. They're really ridiculous, but it still casts really well. It's got a weight transfer system. They got awesome 6 cents colors like always. And they're still not breaking the bank. They're still like 10, 12 bucks, so they're not, you know, mega bass price. They still work really, really well. So that one I had to talk about because at least want to get jerk bait, and I've really enjoyed this year.
Cool. So I'm gonna, I guess jerk bait's more of a cold water bait, so I'm gonna start out with my favorite cold water bait. Yeah. And this is the Bomber. I'm gonna read it because it's got a long name.
It's a weird name.
Fat-free fingerling. Bomber fat-free fingerling. I think it's a 3/8 ounce. Dives 8 to 12 feet, and I have caught an absolute pile of fish in like February, March on these when they're still out deep, the water's cold. I don't know if it's something about this specific color, if it's something to do with the purple or more of the translucent body, but it's ridiculous. And it's not, it's like $3.99.
$3.99.
It's
crazy. Always on sale. Always on sale.
It's literally, yeah, it's like, it's
ridiculous.
A fraction of the price, and I catch so many fish on it. And there have been other like 10-foot diving crankbaits that I've tried to catch fish on, and for whatever reason, this one, I just like this one. Hooks aren't great on it. Logan knows more about hooks than me, but you should probably change them out because it is a $4 bait. But other than that, man, it's got more of a slender profile. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but cold water bass, cold water largemouth, love this crankbait.
It's kind of incredible how well that bait works.
You've seen it firsthand.
It's kind of ridiculous. This year specifically for me, crankbaits weren't the biggest big fish catchers outside of the spring on a lipless. But the 3 crankbaits I'm talking about next are more got me keepers in the boat, and just overall, I mean, who does not like throwing a crankbait? I mean, who doesn't? But this is the 6 cents Crush 50X. It's got a faint rattle in it. That's a silent one. 50S, no rattle. They have an X. I think this one's close to it. Yeah, it's got more of a hard one knocker. And they also make a XR, which is more like a BB, more of a high pitch. But the Crush 50s, it's a 1.5. I mean, everyone makes a 1.5. Everyone's copycatted off of Lucky Craft, which is in it there. But 6 cents to me is the colors. They're like Lucky Craft. They do really good in their colors, and they're still like 9, 10 bucks. They have swapped over from Mustache Triple Grips to BKK Short Fangs, and those are some nasty hooks. They are really point in, so if they breathe and get that point in them, they're not coming off. Those hooks are absolutely crazy, but like I said, 6 cents colors, I mean, that's shad scales, good white, bunch of scaling, green top. 6 cents just has absolutely fantastic colors, and you can have a hard box of every color and you're probably going to keep going. But for a 1.5, it's my favorite, and it all comes down to confidence. I've been throwing 6 cents crankbaits for 5, 6. As long as I've owned my boat and been fishing, I've been throwing a 6 cents Crush 1.5. It's just kind of hard for me to jump around when I got confidence. Bass fishing at the end of the day is confidence. A lot of confidence.
I just want to add one thing, because I have a Crush 50, and it's black and blue. It's like one of the only black and blue square bills I can find.
Black magic.
And I love it. It's like, I'm surprised more people don't make that color, but it's a great color, especially in that crankbait. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on this one. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I'm sure everybody knows what a Rapala DT6 looks like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love this one. I think I've won. I know I won at least one Wednesday nighter on this. I don't know what it is. It's just, it goes through wood and rock so well.
It just works so good.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
I feel like I can get this into places that other crankbaits would get snug up in.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know if it's because it's made of balsa, that it comes right out of the rocks and the wood easily, but it's a great crankbait. They're a little, what do they retail for? Like 10, 11,
They're
12
probably $10,
now?
but Bass Pro does like a 35%
Yeah,
a year.
so get them on sale, but if they're not on sale, they're a little on the pricier side, for me at least.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of the classic crankbaits that it's been around forever. Everybody knows it, and it still works. I'm just really impressed how well it comes through wood and rocks. But
Correct.
DT6, basically all year round, you can catch them using it.
My next one is a more, still can be a wintertime bait. This is the 6-cent Curve 55 Finesse. So they have the Curve 55, which is like your rock crawler type, and then they took it and put this little baby bill. Yes, it's not coming through grass that well. Rock is kind of okay, but it's a shallow crankbait 3/8. I can throw in like 1 foot, 2 foot, and it does good enough to come through. It's got a nice same rock crawler type profile, and once again, shad scales. This is one of the older versions, right? Yeah, this is one of the older versions with those mustache clipper grips. The new ones do come with BKKs, but same thing. I mean, it's like every 6-cent crankbait. Awesome colors. They got a lot of reds. That is a good springtime bait for me when they start to move up to that 3 or 4 foot, and I need to bomb that in there, but the water is still, you know, mid 50s, low 60s. They're not really in the mood to eat a true square bill. I can throw that guy up in there after, because when the wintertime I'm throwing a Curve 55 because I think dives about 10 foot. So it's a nice 1-2 punch. It just worked. Nice small profile, and it's easy for them to just chew on it.
Cool, so I'm going to stick with the small profile also. This is the, again, another one everybody knows, KVD 1.0 square bill crankbait. I don't know what this particular color is. I kind of just grabbed it, but I really like the white one. I don't know, it's gizzard shad or something like that. Yeah. It's just the regular white 1.0. I throw these all the time, all throughout the year. It tends to do better in spring and like, I don't know, fall, but I'll throw it all. And it's just a great crankbait. I mean, like they're $5-6. Again, it works. It doesn't hurt the wallet. It's one of them crankbaits. Like, I know we did the rod and reel video last time. I have to throw it on a really like whippy rod because it is so light and so small. But once you find the right rod to throw it, I don't know, it's really easy to catch them and it feels great. Yeah, these are silent, so it's almost like a really good, I don't know, kind of finessey, small, scaled down profile, and it catches fish.
Looking for a rod, Caden 734 CB, rubber video.
You think it'll throw that?
It throws Crush 25, the 1/4 ounce.
All right.
I got a video. You can look at my river videos, you'll see it. It works. Next rod, or next bait, sorry, is a bait, I think it came out late last year, is the new Pressure series from 6 cents, a true flat side. The PD4, on the other hand, is awesome for shallow. You got an actual coffin type square on there. One of my early spring videos, I only caught 2 fish all day, still finished 4th place, and both fish came on a PD4 bluegill. They're a flat side. They're the same Gamakatsu, NATO, Air Martin version, whatever, round bend hooks as their new Provokes. They're just really good at the end of the day. They're a lot more duller colors, not like the normal square bills. So the 6 cents are really bold, but a really good spring, and probably by the time we go fishing again, fall crankbait. Once that water starts getting, it's colder, it's flat side, but it just runs so good. And the PD4 goes through pretty much everything. It's definitely not as good as the DT6 coming through wood, but it's really close. Definitely get yourself a nice little box full of those.
Cool, so sticking to flat sides, I have the Spro Little John 50 right here.
God,
it's
so
awesome. Good. Like, again, it's more, I like to throw it a lot during the spring, early spring when the water's just starting to warm up from winter, and it's awesome. I think one day you talked me into going out in like February, and I ended up catching like a 3-pounder on this, just fishing it around rocks.
Good old red.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's crazy.
So this particular one is my favorite color. I don't remember what it's called. I bought this so long ago. It's just a regular shad color, but there also is that red crawl one. That's also a great bait, especially for early spring. But Spro Little John 50, they're a little expensive, but in my opinion, they're worth it. They've got a really unique, you probably can't hear it, but it's like a 1-knock. So it's really unique. It's a really cool bait. It's a little on the pricey side, but I've caught a lot of good fish with it. It's a great little bait.
They also make a type R, like I had. It's a lot louder. And they actually came out with a new 40 size of that. So even smaller.
Oh, yeah, you told me about it.
It's called Cellmate, is the one Aaron was talking about. Yeah, it's called Cellmate, I think. It's the one that looks close.
All right, Cellmate. There you go. For 15 bucks, you can get you one.
Wait for sales. they're $14.49. I think I got them both online. I think they're American Legacy or Tackle Warehouse. There was one of the spring sales, and they had Spros for 25% off or 20% off. And I bought a ton of Little Johns. I got the 50s and I got the Type R's, a little bit louder rattle, but yeah, Little Johns. The red one is Western Crawl, and that's kind of what it looks like. Red, a little bit orange, but they make an all red one. They just call it like Blood Crawl or something, but Little Johns work.
Yeah.
The only reason this lipless is in this video is because it's what caught my personal best in the spring, and then the following week caught one fish and it was a 4-pounder on it. But this is the Lucky Craft LV500. Talking about expensive crankbait. I think these are like 15, 16 bucks. I waited the same thing. I waited for a sale to pick those up. That's not the color I use. I use like, I think it's like Rayburn red or something. It's all red with a little bit of orange, but there are 3/4 ounce crank or lipless, so they fall fast. And I first learned about them, probably like everyone else did, is technical bass and how about hopping. So I picked up that color and a red color. And this spring I had 3 weeks in a row of really good lipless fishing, and that's what I was throwing it on. Another good lipless for hopping is the 6-inch Snatch. It's a 5/8 or ½ ounce, one of the two. So it rips real good. If you have a lot more snaggy rock, it's a little bit easier because it's not as heavy. But if you're around just good old gravel and you're going to do bottom hopping, that LV500 is absolutely incredible. Like I said, it's kind of hard. It was kind of hard for me to leave it out because of catching personal best. So it kind of just got itself in there. But overall, for bottom hopping, it's really good.
All right, so last one. This is a Bandit 200.
There's three versions of this one.
No idea what the color is called. It's just a straight black one. I don't even know if they sell them still.
Google on it. Hold on.
I know they're on the cheaper side of crankbaits. I think it's like $6 or $7. And I don't know if it's the color or if it's the small profile, but I've caught a pile of fish on this rod. All I did was I used to throw it on like a 7.2 medium heavy moderate St. Croix Bass X and just destroy them. It's a great bait to bounce off a rock, so I would go to Brookville. I've caught so many fish on this at Brookville. It's insane. Not necessarily smallmouth, but I did catch a lot of largemouth on this. And East Fork was another place where I had a lot of luck with this. It dives to like 8 feet, I think, and it just comes off rock really well. So whenever I'm like not feeling great about where I'm fishing, whenever I need some confidence, I'll grab this thing out and I'll just fish it around rocks. But yeah, for like $6, or I don't even know if they still sell them. I'm pretty sure they still sell them.
They worked real hard on that name. It's called Solid Black.
Oh, it's called Solid Black.
Really creative, guys.
So Bandit 200, Solid Black. It's a great little crankbait, and it's cheap too.
$6.99.
$6.99.
I think Bass Pro does a 20% in the springtime. So
yep.
But that's our hard baits for the season. Like I said, there's definitely some stuff left out. I left out some top waters, but these are just 5 baits that I got bid on pretty much all the year. Rods wide, Aaron kind of talked about it. The Crush 50, the Finesse, and the PD4 is on the Cadence 734 CB. Jerkbaits, whatever jerkbait rod you like. I haven't got one. I'm probably going to get the 610-4 Cadence eventually, but I've thrown down the Fury 705, Sierra 683, just whatever jerkbait rod you like. But that LV being 3/4 ounce, Dobbins Champion 765 CB, because it's one of the best deeper cranking rods. It's still soft, so if you hit them, it still loads up, but because it's still stout, I can hop that thing without any effort at all, and still bomb liplesses and everything else. So, but that's the same for my half-ounce liplesses, that 765. Would you guys just tell me what's that cost? That smallmouth last week was on that 765 CB.
Cool. That's all we got for hard
Did you
baits.
talk about all the rods for that, or is it just terms of Falcon?
No, I guess I'll hit the rods real quick. This one, I throw it on my little 7-foot medium, moderate fast G-Limus GCX with some 10-pound line. These three, I have a weird crankbait rod. It's a 7-1 medium, 1-3 fishing, Envy Black.
Yeah.
3.
Something like that. You got it on sale. You got it for cheap.
I got it
know.
cheap. Yeah, it's a weird one, but it's 7-1 medium cranking or something like that, and it throws all these perfectly fine.
It's actually a pretty nice rod.
And then, well, yeah,
I kind of like it.
It retail for like $300.
Yeah,
so
no, it's worth it for the money. It's pretty nice.
And then the last one, we talked about the Falcon rod, the Falcon crankbait rod, and the rod and reel video, but that's what I throw this bomber on. Dives 8 to 12 feet, and it's a great rod for this. I've caught a ton of fish on that rod and this bait.
So that's everything for hard baits. We're gonna hop over to soft baits. Same thing. There's definitely soft baits missing out. I mean, I don't have drop shot baits. I don't have any of my Ned rig baits because there's a more like technique, seasonal things. Big worms, I'm missing out. This is probably one of our worst years ever for a shaky head. I don't know what was up with it. But there's definitely baits missing out. But these are 5 baits that we kind of thought, hey, this helped us throughout the year. Kind of same thing with this hard bait. So we're gonna start off with my baby whale. This is the 6th Sense Whale 3.0, specifically Pro Blue. Trying to see that one
Pro
now.
Blue shad? There's a Pro Blue.
Not right here. So that's what Pro Blue looks like. It's kind of seeped in the bottom, a lot of silver and blue flake. I'm a big fan of silver flake in things, especially swim baits to put off that flash. So Pro Blue is absolutely incredible in that swim bait. In the whale, because of how it's designed, it wobbles real good.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's Beast Coast.
Oh, my bad. Keep going.
But how it's designed and how it gives off, even on an 1/8 ounce.
All right, hold on. Go. I'll stop moving around.
Even on an 1/8 ounce jig head, it gives that bait a good rock. The only problem is once the water temp gets to like 40 degrees, it just runs like nothing. Like Aaron just pulled out of Beast Coast slow flow, that's when that swim bait comes out, because even if the water's 0 degrees, it's still probably kicking. So in a swim bait, it's really good. I love that 3-inch. And like I said, spinner bait, it lets it run well because of how the body is, and it puts off a pretty nice baby shad look to it.
Cool. So I'm going to stick with swim baits also. This is my favorite swim bait I've ever used. I have so many packs of these at the house. This is the 2.8-inch Keitech, but it's the fat, swim impact fat. This specific color, Tennessee shad.
Oh, yeah.
And I have so many packs of these.
Oh.
So it's crazy. It's got like a 2-tone. It's darker on top. It's more clear on the bottom.
It's a good color.
But like, what are those what's the name of those jig heads we throw? Guppy.
Dirty jigs.
Dirty jigs, guppy heads. A 1/8 ounce, 1/0 hook paired with this.
good.
It's insane. And I throw it on the 732 Champion spinning rod. It's it's basically an all year bait for me at this point. I love throwing it parallel to rocks. But man, it catches the crap out of them. Back when our home lake was fishing really well, I'd go out there and I'd catch 30, 40 fish in one day. But yeah, I have a ton of these, and like Logan was saying, in cold water, these swim really well too. So I basically can use it all year round. It's a great swim bait. Highly recommend it.
Well, that time gets tough, and that time does get tough. It's time to pull out the old wacky rig. These are the 6th Sense Clouts. I've been throwing them for like 2-3 years, I think, when they came out. I was never a Yamamoto guy. I just had a hard time buying a bait, and then it falls apart after one fish. But I found the Clouts, they hold up really well. They got a good fall to them. I don't know about the camera's gonna pick it up, but it's kind of like a bunch of diamonds in them. I don't know if I can pick it up at all, but it's a bunch of little diamonds. It falls really, really good, and it catches fish. You guys saw my buddy Kevin came up. We had a couple of videos. That's all we were catching him on his wacky rig. Caught a really good over 4-pounder last year on that wacky rig. So once again, it's probably more confidence. There's probably a Yamamoto probably would be better, but it's more confident. I just have confidence in that clout. And 6th Sense coming out with 20 different colors. So Nirvana, which is like a trans stamp, green pumpkin, black and blue, and that green pumpkin juice, which is green pumpkin and every flake dumped in. So as a wacky rig bait, it's my favorite. All right, they do make 2 sizes, a 5'4" and a 6'2".
So sticking with the same theme, I'm gonna just use the the old bread and butter Gary Yamamoto custom bait 5-inch Senko. Logan's right; these fall apart super easily. But the good news is I bought a really like 5 or 6 packs. I got them on sale actually. My local Meijer was having buy one get one free, so I bought a ton of them. This is black and blue specifically. It works really good at our home lake. But, yeah, like I said, Logan said they fall asleep. They fall asleep.
That's a good one.
Like Logan said, they fall apart very easily. So I actually only break them out when we're fishing the Wednesday nighters and we're trying to win some money. If I'm just out there fun fishing, I'm not using these because they are expensive and they fall apart pretty easy. But it's a great bait. It catches them. Throwing it around grass, it's awesome.
To help make the Yamamotos and the clout, I know it's technically not bait, but the Arsenal bands,
Yes.
It's not a O-ring. So when the O-ring goes on and you're pulling on it, you got that little band pulling on it. It's a pretty much clear tubing, and it's a lot wider. So when you pull on the bait, it makes it so that it puts the hook pressure out a little bit better, so it's a little bit longer. Gary Yamamoto, they're still soft. You might get 3 fish out, but the clouts, I can use the same clout for 12 bass and 7,000 bluegill bites. But you do got to buy these, and you got to buy a special little plier. So, but if you got shrink tubing, you can use that. But that will help make this last longer.
He actually talked me into using O-rings or
Whatever.
yeah, whatever. Just to try and save some money, which they do work. Instead of getting 3 fish out of a Senko, you probably get like 5 now. So, yeah, that worked out.
And that one bluegill comes up and flips it off. Next, let's get jiggy with it. I have like 3 different trailers I use. We have the same one. But I use like 3 different jig trailers: Strike King, Race Tail, the chunks, great. But those claws come out real far, and a lot of times I get short strike. And then the Shape 106 from Berkeley, it's more like a Rage Menace, really tight. But my everyday, it's just gone to that net bait with bait fuel built into it, 3-inch. Also like the 2-inch, it's really good. I mean, the 2-inch looks really good on like those little small baby jigs, but it's got good action, good swim. It's more of a just kind of a basic fall, but overall they hold up really well. And with that bait fuel, they have a nice little scent. I do think scent matters. Green pumpkin, black blue, tilapia. But 3-inch and 2-inch, I think they make a 4-inch, but I've never used a 4-inch. But 2 and 3s, more and more, it feels like my boat when I'm driving for a jig trailer, I pack a chunk, no matter if it's slowly moving it or fast moving it.
So we didn't plan this. Logan basically just said, grab my 5 favorite baits and come on over.
Well, it's almost like we fish together. So like we're gonna have some mix match.
Right. So I grabbed the same thing. Logan already talked about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm actually gonna talk about a bait I forgot to bring. That's my favorite crawl bait of all time. Bandito bug. Black and blue bandito bug.
Why does it work so good?
Again, I won at least one Wednesday nighter this year on the bandito bug. I can't believe I forgot to bring it. I don't know if it's just because they have their own special box in my boat, but I have so many of those as well. Black and blue bandito bug, the regular 4-inch, you cannot go wrong putting that thing on a shaky head and flipping it around woods. But yeah, like Logan said, net baits with the bait fuel in them. These are also great jig trailers.
Next bait is based off of a tournament experience. Like I said, that video, like the video before, I caught my biggest bass ever with that LV. I had my biggest bag ever at 16 pounds, and the bait that got it in, most of them, outside of throwing a jackhammer, it's just goated, is that Strike King blade minnow. No one talks about this on the trailer, on the chatterbait. Everyone talks about spunk shads and stuff like that. I understand why, but I really just like the profile of this on the back of a chatterbait. The head's shaking, and that bait just back there just wiggling away. This is on a Evo. They just look really good. Good fishy profile. Like I said, that 16-pound limit was probably mainly because of the jackhammer, But that's the trailer in the back of it, and every time I catch fish on a chatterbait, it's with that trailer. So now we're back to confidence again. I just have a ton of confidence in a Strike King. They got the coffee scent, ton of colors. A lot of really good colors. Like the one I just showed, that's Carolina Chrome. So it's literally silver with a bunch of flake. So you're fishing a clear lake, need a lot of flash, that's the one to go. Only downside, they only make it a 4-inch. I wish they made like a 3-inch to put on what Aaron's about to talk about. It's just, I wish they made a smaller size. But overall, no one really talks about them. They go on sale a lot because Strike King's one of those brands. They're going to be 25, 35% off half the year. But overall, it's just a really good confidence bait.
So, again, we didn't plan this, but I'm talking about the Z-Man Chatter Shad, specifically the Pearl and specifically the 3.5-inch version. I know they make beautiful
4.5,
something
4.25.
The 3.5-inch, I absolutely love.
So
Logan actually talked me into buying some of these, and I ran across Tackle Warehouse like a month or two ago, was doing 30% off all Z-Man stuff. So naturally, I bought a few of these. And man, like, he was not wrong. These are crazy. The profile is so slender and so small. They fit perfectly on the back of a Mini Max chatterbait, which, again, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I like downsizing a lot. I feel like more finessier techniques get bit easier out here where we live.
Especially summer.
Especially summer when fishing gets tough. And lately, we've been catching them on Mini Maxes, and this small, tiny, like, it's almost crazy how small this is.
You don't think it's a 3.5?
Yeah,
It's so
looking at it, you think it's like 2.5 inches.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, and I don't know. It just catches fish. Like I said, Logan talked me into getting a few. I have not regretted it. It's easily my favorite chatterbait trailer. Yeah, and especially this time of year, just it gets bit.
So I was looking for a smaller trailer for my blade minnow. That's when I came across that. I think that came out last year or this year at ICAST. I can't remember which one. And I saw it, and it was 3.5, and I was like, what's Z-Man? They keep making it. It's going to at least last me 5,000 years on the back of my jackhammer. So I picked a couple of them up, Mini Max, and we had a couple Wednesday nighters. We're having a hard time getting bites, and they were eating that Mini Max little guy. Aaron went to his normal chatterbait. We tried bigger sizes, couldn't get bit.
Wouldn't touch it.
I mean, it was a bunch of dinks, but we still made fun of that night. But that's kind of what my little chatterbait trailer has gone to. I just haven't had a day like I had with the blade minnow, so it's kind of hard. But a bait that kind of surprising to both of us. We both don't throw it enough, and this year Wednesday nighters, a guy win a couple tournaments with it, and we're like, it's probably just he flipped it through that one tree and had a big one. So, but no, the tube, it's an old school bait. I mean, they probably making it at the same time dinosaurs walking the earth. So it's just really simple bait, but we were doing stupid tubing it. See if I have one laying around. So you got these specialty heads you put in them, and the way they depth spiral down, I don't know what it is exactly, but that was the bait for us this year. I won a big-ish tournament. Aaron won multiple Wednesday nighters on it. We had another guy win multiple Wednesday nighters with it. But it was a bait that it kind of turned into that bait if we need a bite. We went to a stupid tube. We're throwing 3/16 ounce. Do you do quarter or 3/16?
I do 3/16.
So same head. I think we use actually the same exact head, 3/0. But these are pull boys. I had these in my boat, so I didn't feel like buying Secret Lures or another brand. I decided to try these out. But these are 4-inch. This is called Roadkill. You guys seen a couple videos of me fishing this. It's just a brown with blue flake. It really doesn't look like anything to me. So my assumption, it's close enough to a bluegill. But that flipped around cover, it just became one of those things. It was from what, June to August, September. We didn't go out with that one on. It didn't matter. We went to our normal lake, different lake, this lake. We had one tied on because it was getting bit everywhere. But the stupid tube was one of those things I had to include because it was about 3-month stretch. It's the only thing we were bringing 4 rods out, and we were just throwing stupid tubes all day. So it was kind of hard not to include it.
And yeah, like Logan said, I mean, that became a confidence bait for me like almost overnight. As soon as we realized why this guy kept winning Wednesday nighters, it basically replaced like a jig or like a crawl. It replaced it, like, because we're throwing these around wood now like you would a jig, and it's crazy. I would have never thought about that before this guy was telling us about it. But I have a different one from Logan. This is just a regular, it's a Bass Pro brand. Tournament series, tender tube, 3.5 inch. This thing is tiny and it's very, very soft. So you can see this is just regular green pumpkin. This is what I'll use for smallmouth. I knew Logan was probably going to bring up the stupid tube, which is my favorite. These smaller ones, I find that smallmouth eat them a lot easier. So back in summer, I was throwing this around wood at one of our favorite smallmouth lakes around here, and I was catching fish. The 762 Champion that Logan actually sold me is great for this. So I'll throw a 1/8 ounce head on this, and then I'll go and flip it around wood. It's still a stupid tube head. You still rig it weedless, but I'll go throw it around wood all the time, and it gets bit. Smallmouth, for whatever reason, like those are still 4-inch, but they're the ones Logan just showed. They're a lot thicker. This one's a lot thinner. Goes in smallmouth mouths easier, and you know, obviously, it gets bit. It's a tube. It's been around forever, and it still catches fish. It's awesome. And you know, us being younger guys. Like, I never fished with a tube before. I knew it was an old man technique. But now I'm in love with it. I have a dedicated tube rod. And, you know, we're winning money on it. So it
kind of helps.
It's been working.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was the time I threw this for smallmouth. When I was with my grandpa's, you know, that's the only time we threw it is for smallmouth. Never threw for largemouth. Always thought it was a kind of dumb idea. And he won a couple of times. And we're like, well, I guess we'll try it. And then we just kept catching fish. And, like I said, I don't think any of us caught an absolute big one over 4 on the tube this year, but we did catch a lot of 2s, keepers, just under keepers, and had some days that went from not catching anything to catching fish because of the tube. But that's really it for our top 5 hard baits and soft baits. Like I said, we definitely missed out some stuff. Next week video, my next Friday video, I'll be talking more like spinner baits, jig, and stuff like that. But we just kind of want to talk about hard baits that we kind of can't live without, and soft baits the same way. But like I said, definitely missed out some baits here that we left at home, like Aaron talked about the bandito bug. That's just some stuff that we don't ever think, but we just kind of opened our boat up and was like, yep, we use that a lot, yep, use that a lot, and brought it here to show you guys. Same thing as the rod and reel video. I'll link all the companies that you can buy this product from. I don't know. I know Tackle Warehouse has a soft bait lure sale right now. I don't know if everything of the soft baits is in that deal. I'm not 100% sure. I know all my 6th Sense products. 6th Sense will do a Black Friday sale. Lucky Craft, I don't think they really go on sale. But Aaron's Rapalas, Bass Pro, Tackle Warehouse will have a sale, 25-30% off. Bandits, same thing. The Spros, they go on sale once in a blue moon, but I'll link everyone below. If there's anyone specifically running a sale, I'll probably make a mark next to those hyperlink to show you, like, hey, if you're looking for this product, click that hyperlink, and that's going straight to that bait for that sale. Just because I couldn't find any sales on them. But overall, it was a pretty good year overall. Like I said, I had a hell of a spring. My summer fell apart, but Aaron picked up in the summer and carried me throughout the whole rest of the year. And then you guys seem to have a couple pretty good smallmouth videos the last couple weeks. So trying to wrap up the season. We don't have much more time, a couple more weeks, and then crappie fishing probably for a few weeks until that bite officially dies, and then expo time. But hope you guys enjoyed me and Aaron's part of these buyer guides. Like I said, next week is going to be just me. But I hope you guys really enjoyed. I really appreciate Aaron coming out, showing you guys his way he thinks about it. Like I said, he showed a lot more smaller, downsized stuff, different rods, not just straight Dobbins across the line. So it's kind of nice for you guys to see other than just the same things I show up every time. Caden 734, same thing every time. So,
if it works.
Oh, God, so good. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, if you had any comments, any questions, just reach out to us. We'll answer anything you got. But if you'd like to support the businesses that support me, all their contact information will be in my description. But until then, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
See you guys.